Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Hope you are well. So today in this video I am going to cover stanza 7 and stanza 8, line by line analysis of the poem Dejection and Ode by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. So let us read it out. Hence, viper thoughts that coil around my mind. So the poet is saying that the viper thoughts, viper means something venomous related to the snakes. Okay, so he is saying that some venomous or some malignant thoughts have coiled around in his mind. This is coiling up in his mind. Reality is dark dream. So he is saying that this is at the same time is real and at the same time is dream like. Okay, this is, we can say, an example of dramatic ambiguity. So what is the meaning of this phrase, reality is dark dream? Look, this is what Coleridge wants to mean, that this is a dreary dream, this is a dark, this is a completely pessimistic dream, and the unpleasant reality of the poet's futility. Okay, so in the next lines, I turn from you. So the poet is saying that he is turning from Sarah and is listening to the wind, which long has raved unnoticed. So he is saying that this wind is raving unnoticed. Okay, what a scream of agony by torture lengthened out, that lute sent forth. By these lines, the poet is saying that the wind is making a scream like a sorrowful note on the lute that is kept in the room of the poet. Okay, so here we can say that he is personifying the wind, who is completely making or completely playing the lute by himself. Okay, so in the next lines, thou wind that ravest without, bare crag or mountain tarn or blasted trees or pine grove whither woodman never clomb, no, or lonely house long held the witch's home. So he is saying that the wind is blowing outside. Okay, and that is over the bare crag, that means over the bare rocks. The mountain tier means the mountainous lakes, or blasted trees. Blasted trees means the withered trees without any leaves. Okay, the trees without any leaves. Or pine grove that is not climbed up by the woodman, that means the complete virgin pine groves where never the woodman have climbed up. Okay, or lonely houses. Lonely houses means the ghostly houses which is completely evil like, and long held the witches home. So he is saying that these lonely houses are the home of the witches. So the poet is saying that these places, that means the pine grove, the bare crag, or mountainous lakes, or the withered trees or lonely houses, are the perfect places for the wind to blow over. Okay, not the lute. That means the poet is not so much excited to hear the sound of the lute that is played by the wind, because he is very much dejected by himself. Then in the next lines, he is saying that methinks were fitter instruments for thee, mad lutanist. So he is referring the wind as mad lutanist. Lutanist means who is playing the lute. Okay, so he is saying that you are the lute player who in the month of showers, that means the month of April, because the month of showers is the month of April. So he is saying that in the month of April, the mad lutanist, that means the tumultuous stormy wind is blowing of dark brown gardens. So it is blowing over the dark brown gardens. Why the gardens are called dark brown? No, because in the rainy season, the wilderness, or we can say the jungles, become completely darkish brown. Okay, and of peeping flowers. So the flowers are peeping from these gardens. Makest devil's yule. So the wind is blowing so much hard that it is completely turning the atmosphere completely cold and very much like wintry. And in the wintry season, we know that the Christmas is celebrated. So Devil's Yule is nothing but the celebration of Christmas. But this is completely untimely Christmas, as in the month of April, the shower is very much cold, and we can say the wind is blowing very much hard. This is actually bringing the feelings of winter. Okay, so in the next lines he is saying that the blossoms, buds and timorous leaves among. So this means the wind is blowing through these blossoms, buds and timorous, or we can say very much timid type of leaves of the trees. Okay, so the wind is blowing through these and making a Christmas like sensation, a wintry sensation, we can say. Thou actor. So who is this actor? Actor is this wind. Okay, why he is called the actor? Because he can imitate everything like an actor. We all know that an actor imitates the reality. Very much like that, the wind can imitate the sounds of different human beings, and that is why he is called the actor. Okay, so thou actor, you are an actor, perfect in all tragic sounds, who can imitate all the tragic sounds, all the sorrowful sounds. Thou mighty poet, even to frenzy bold, when tellest thou now about. So the poet is asking, what is the tale you are singing about now? So he is asking the wind that what is the song is about, that is sung by the wind now. Tis of the rushing of an host in rout, with groans of trampled men, with smarting wounds. At once they groan with pain and shudder with the cold. So now the wind is singing the song of the defeated army, which is retreating after they had been completely defeated by the enemy soldiers, and they are completely wounded, they are very much groaning, they are in very much pain, and thus we can say the wind that is blowing now is very much sorrowful, is very much melancholic, and singing the wounds, singing the sorrow or sadness of these people, of this retreating army. Okay, but hush, there is a pause of deepest silence, and all that noise as of a rushing crowd, with groans and tremulous shudderings, all is over. So the poet is saying that just a moment ago there is a loud song of the melancholic song, we can say. This is the because of the wounds of the retreating battalion, or we can say the defeated army. This song is sung by the wind itself, but suddenly there is complete silence, deepest silence. That means there is no sound at all, and all that noise of this rushing crowd is completely gone, all is over. Okay, it tells another tale. Now it is telling another tale, and which is this tale with sounds less deep and loud. So now the sound is less deep, that means the melancholic song of the defeated soldiers are very much deep, but now these are less deeper. Okay, and in the next lines, a tale of less affright. So this tale is of less affright, of lesser fear, we can say, and tempered with delight. So these songs now are completely delightful, as Otway's self had framed the tender lay. So here, who is Otway? No, the reference is to Thomas Otway. Thomas Otway was one of the important writers who wrote three great tragedies like Don Carlos, The Orphan, and Venice Preserved. So he was actually, we can say, an important name in the field of writings, in the field of writing verses. Okay, so he is saying that now the wind is blowing very much like the songs composed by Thomas Otway himself. Okay, so the wind is now imitating the sound of the very much pleasant, charming songs of the poet Thomas Otway. Okay, in the next lines he is saying that tis of a little child. So the wind is now making sounds of a little child upon a lonesome wild, who is lost in the lonesome wild, completely lost in the jungle or in a wilderness, not far from home. That jungle or that wild is not much far from home, but she is lost there, but she hath lost her way. So the little girl hath lost her way and is asking for her mother, and now moans low in bitter grief and fear, and now screams loud. So sometimes she is showing her griefs or her fear by low moans, and sometimes she is screaming loud and hopes to make her mother hear, and she is hoping that she could attract her mother's attention to her, because she is completely lost. So the poet is saying that in these stanza, the wind is blowing by making some sounds. Sometimes the sound is of grave retreating army, and sometimes this is of a little child who is lost in the wilderness. Okay, so now let's move to the next stanza, stanza 8. Look, before going to this stanza, I must share an information that according to some critics, these stanza must not be there, because the theme of this stanza is very much different from the remaining parts of this poem. Okay, so now let us read it out, and we'll discuss this later. "'Tis midnight, but small thoughts have I of sleep." So it is already midnight, but I have no such thoughts of going to sleep. "Full seldom may my friend such vigils keep." So I am wishing that my friend, that means Sarah Hutchinson, should not have these types of awaking in the night, but she should have a great sleep. Okay, visit her gentle sleep. So Coleridge is asking sleep to visit his beloved, who is none other than Sarah Hutchinson, with wings of healing. And may the storm be but a mountain birth, may all the stars hang bright above her dwelling. So Coleridge is saying that sleep must visit Sarah Hutchinson with the wings of healing. Why the wind is said to visit Sarah with the wings of healing? No, because we all know that when we have a sound sleep, or we can say a deep sleep, there is healing. Actually, sleep works as a healing particle, healing material. That is why Coleridge is saying that the gentle sleep must visit Sarah Hutchinson with the wings of healing. And at the same time, he is requesting that may this storm be but a mountain birth. So the storm that is blowing over at that time must not blow over the house of Sarah Hutchinson, but that must be confined to the mountains. May all the stars hang bright above her dwelling. So Coleridge is saying that there must not be any storm over the house of Sarah Hutchinson, and at the same time the stars should shine brightly above her house, silent as though they watched the sleeping earth. So the stars should be very much serene, very much silent, very much calm, as they watched over the sleeping earth. When they watch over the sleeping earth, they are completely silent, and that silence must be there around the house of Sarah Hutchinson. Okay, with light heart may she rise, gay fancy, cheerful eyes, joy lift her spirit, joy attune her voice. So Coleridge is saying that after a deep sleep, after a sound sleep, she should rise with a light heart, with a cheerful heart, and gay fancy, that means happy imagination, and cheerful eyes. Everything must be cheerful around her, and no such gloominess should be there around her. Okay, so in the next lines the poet is saying, to her may all things live. That means everything around her, from pole to pole, from the north pole to the south pole, that means between the extreme ends, two extreme ends, there must be everything happy, everything cheerful, everything lively around her, around Sarah, their life, the aiding of her living soul. So everything must be living around her. O simple spirit guided from above, dear lady, friend devotest of my choice, thou mayst thou ever evermore rejoice. So she is referred to as a simple spirit, as an innocent spirit who is guided by the heaven. And at the same time, he is praying that she must not be invaded by sorrow. Rather, she should lead a life of complete happiness. She must have been surrounded by happiness, or we can say constant enjoyment, and she should be always cheerful by heart. Okay, so this is the poem. Hope this will be of help. Now a question for you, that whether this stanza 8 should be there with this poem, because the theme of this stanza is quite different from the other parts of this poem. Okay, so please write about your valuable comments in the comment sections and let me know what is your feelings about this poem is. So hope this will be of help. If this helps you, then please give it a like, to share with your friends, and thank you for watching this video.